Hello, how you doing? I'm Craig Parkinson. You are listening to the Two Shot Podcast. Sit yourself down, pop the kettle on. We're going to have a nice old chat. Who's it with this week? I'm going to tell you right now. How the devil are you? This is episode 42 of the Two Shot Podcast. I'm Craig Parkinson, and this is an episode with Hannah Britland. I am recording this at a very unsociable hour, hence why I might sound a bit gruff and tired. I've just started a job. I'm in London, but I've got to get this done because you're here, you've downloaded, you've subscribed, and we cannot thank you enough for joining us. So, what is new? Well, you may have noticed this week on social media I posted a beautiful photo of a very beautiful thing. It is a badge. It's a brand new, limited edition Two Shot Podcast logo badge made for us by our very good friends at One Stop Badges, and I promised that I would let you know on this episode how you could get your grubby little mitts on one, and I'm going to tell you now. You want to buy one? Well, they're not for sale. We're not going to sell them to you. We're going to give you them back, because what you've done for us is you've supported us. So if you're a Patreon backer and you've been donating $5 a month or more, that's it, guaranteed, you've got one. If you're a Patreon backer and you want to maybe donate a little bit more, up to $5 a month, you can have one. That's the deal. They're limited edition. We've got 250 made, and that is it. And considering, oh God, I don't even know what the last count was, but we've got over 180,000 subscribers. You've got to be in it to win it. So if you're a backer of $5 a month or more, direct messages on Twitter, email us on twoshoppod@gmail.com. I mean, we've got your details anyway, so we can find you, just so we can get your address, get those beautiful things out to you. You can put them on your lapel, on your jumper. People will go, what's that beautiful little badge or pin, depending on where you are in the world. Some people call them pins. They do it in America. And you'll say, oh, this is the Two Shot Podcast logo. What's the Two Shot Podcast? You'll say, I'm not going to give you a script. You can work that dialogue out yourself. Anyway, what I'm saying is they're a gorgeous little badge, and they're for you to say thank you. Yeah? Yeah. So this is episode 42 with the very energetic Hannah Britland. Now, you may know Hannah quite recently from the Netflix TV series Lovesick with the fantastic Johnny Flynn. You may have seen her in Misfits, which is where I first met Hannah a few years back. And it was one of the reasons why I asked her on. Turns out she didn't remember who I was. This is episode 42 with the fantastic Hannah Britland. Enjoy, and I'll see you at the end. I think you're the first person I've ever met who was born on New Year's Eve.
I wasn't born on New Year's Eve.
Weren't you?
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Everyone thinks
My
I'm
research
30.
is wrong.
I'm 28.
Come on.
2nd of February, 28,
We're having a
C-section.
laugh. Oh, yeah?
Yes. I was premature by 2 weeks.
You want to sort that research out on
I've
the
tried
internet?
it. I think it's someone that used to bully me at school that's putting it on that wants to get on my tits. I literally think it is, because I've put on Twitter so many times that it's annoyed me. Because I don't want to be old before my ears, because as an actress, that's a nightmare, so...
Do you think it is? Do you think...
Oh, come on.
No.
You know it is.
I think things are changing. I was talking to somebody this morning and she was saying, I'm in my 40s, but there's some great stories that are dying to be told and are being told.
I think maybe in the last year it's changing, but I think it's been quite I mean, I was told when I went to LA to like change my name and like change my not my name. But I was told to change my name.
I think Hannah Britland's an all right name. Why would they say?
They were I know terrible name.
Poor Americans. What?
Told to like say I was like 22 when I was about 26.
Oh, told to lie about your age.
Literally told to lie about my age. Like I was told so many things. Lose weight, lie about your age.
You told
change your name.
You were told to lose weight.
Yeah, categorically, yeah, I was told to lose weight. Yeah.
And what did you say to that?
Laughed. She was like, "You're like Jennifer Lawrence," and I was like, "Well, I think that's a compliment." Oh, I'm gonna have to cut this out already. I'm gonna get in so much trouble.
Don't worry.
No, but I have a lot. Yeah, that happens a lot. Like,
but you are generally the first enemy of Blackpool who's been on the podcast.
Why am I an enemy? Oh, because I'm Preston.
Because you're Preston.
Not really though.
For people growing up or not growing up in Blackpool or Preston, you know, there was always a divide. I think so. Yeah, but I think that stemmed down.
Is that the football?
I think so. But the thing is, I don't know anything about football.
You rugby?
No, I'm nothing. I'm no sports whatsoever.
Zero.
I'm partial to a bit of snooker on the telly for 10 minutes.
You were going to say that.
Do I look like that?
Yeah,
Oh, do I?
Do you like darts as well?
Oh, mine darts. That's all right. I mean,
my mum's great at darts.
Is she?
Yeah, really strong.
Does she play for a team?
No, does she balls? But she's very good at it.
Tell me about your mum. What did she do?
She's a nurse. She's tiny. She's 5'2", Irish, Catholic.
Whereabouts in Ireland?
Limerick.
Right. Okay.
She doesn't have that accent though. Like she's got like a kind of Yorkshire. I feel like I'm speaking really northern when I'm speaking to you, and I'm worried that people are going to think that because I am northern, but my accent is all over the place. Like it's quite neutral northern, like sort of.
Well, because I remember the last time we worked together was many years ago, and
you and me.
What?
We haven't worked together.
You don't remember, do you? You don't remember that we worked together? This is brilliant. This is already good.
What? Mate, we have never met.
I think you did an episode of Misfits.
Yeah, I did. Oh my god, fucking hell.
That I was in. Obviously, I was very memorable. Fantastic.
We've never met, ever.
I will show you the episode.
No, but we didn't have a scene together.
Yes, we did.
What was the scene?
I don't know, but we were definitely...
Yeah, it's not that memorable,
we were
though.
definitely on a racetrack.
Oh, fucking hell. No, but we never met. We never said hello, because I'm very good.
We definitely did, because I remember going, God, that's the first... I don't really know a lot of people from Preston who were like in the acting game. I remember going... And I remember I remember hearing you going, God, she's really northern. She really sounds a Prestonite. This is going so well so far. I hope you're enjoying this episode.
That was my first job, though, and I just left drama school, and it was all like a bit mental. So I didn't. Oh my god, that's so awful. I only remember Antonia and Nathan, and that's it.
Great. I feel really comfortable now.
Awful.
Fantastic. It's awful, isn't it? Oh. Don't worry.
You know what? Fuck it. I think maybe
I've got terrible memory, and I'm really bad.
I don't
names.
think you actually do remember. I think you had to do your research, and then you were like, "Oh, Hannah, oh, she's in Misfits. I'm going to make up a story that we met all those years ago and make her feel really uncomfortable." So well done.
Oh shit! Do I make you feel uncomfortable?
No,
good.
I don't care. I feel kind of a bit. I'm ashamed for myself because I am a massive fan of Line of Duty. So I wish that I'd been able to like band that around with my godmother that I know the caddy. I could have said we were like best mates, but I forgot that we'd ever met. So I'll probably forget this as well in a couple of weeks. So
it's all right. That's fine. What goes on in here, then you can forget about it. You can air your dirty linen and then go off into the Soho sunshine.
Sorry, I'm drinking a beer. If that sounds like I'm choking on my own spit.
Tell me about Preston. Tell me about growing up in Preston.
Preston. Well, I'm not from Preston. I'm from Manchester.
Born there,
no.
You were born in Manchester?
I was born in Chester Hospital.
Right.
But I grew up in Manchester a little bit.
Whereabouts in Manchester?
Cheadle, so not really Manchester, but like, you know. I like to think it was hardcore, but it wasn't. It's very posh. I'm not going to do that thing where I pretend like to be working class because it's cool. I had a very nice kind of time. You're going to have to cut that bit as well.
See, well, we haven't even got a full episode with all these cuts at the moment. Come on now.
I'll start again. So I I grew up in, I did grow up in Breston from like the age of 5.
Right.
But it's a place, a little town called Horton, which...
I know Horton.
Do you?
Yeah.
How come?
I just know all around the Northwest.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Have you worked there?
No, I've been through it, though.
Do you know Horton Tower? Where Shakespeare...
Producer Griff might do, yeah. He's nodding.
I grew up in the grounds of Horton Tower in a little cottage, randomly, like completely randomly. My parents found this tiny cottage when we moved to Preston, and it was just amazingly idyllic.
I was going to say, it does sound idyllic.
Was. I mean, it was isolated, hugely isolated, and not in any way kind of cool. Or, I mean, as a teenager, I absolutely hated it because obviously I wanted to be out smoking and drinking and doing what everyone else was doing.
And so it's you, your mum and dad...
And my sister.
And your sister. And
my sister.
Younger, older?
She's older, 2 years. She's an occupational therapist. So she actually has a proper job and does things that
Don't
help,
say that. You
that
have
helps
a proper
people.
job.
Well, my whole family is in like the care sector. Like my dad teaches sign language. Mum's a nurse.
Does he teach sign language?
Yeah. Have you seen The Quiet Place?
No, not yet.
Oh my God, it's amazing. It's one of the best, and they sign the whole way through that. It's phenomenal. I think everybody from day one should learn sign language.
My wife had to learn sign language for a job.
Did she?
Yeah.
How did she find that?
Really fucking hard.
It's really,
But she did it.
hard.
She did it, and she absolutely killed it. I couldn't believe it.
Everyone should learn it because, like, you know, if you get dementia later on in life, or you lose your hearing, or you have an accident, or being able to sign is such a... You know, children really respond. You know, they respond to that so quickly. Apparently, they can articulate what they want through sign much quicker than they can through verbalization.
Really?
So I think it's a good thing. Anyway, that's off topic. So I went to school in a very, as much as I love it, it's a very rough area of the north. It's called Bamber Bridge. You know Bamber Bridge.
I do know Bamber Bridge.
Also, I went to school in Bamber Bridge.
Everybody knows Bamber Bridge. Producer Griff, Bamber Bridge. Absolutely.
Did you?
There we go.
Did you play Lostock or did you play or did you play Brown Edge?
We used to play against
Lostock. See, they were even rougher school, but that's all where all the fit lads and the fit girls went, and we had to go to the Catholic one, which was a bit more. But there was a lot of poverty actually. It was quite. Looking back on it now, it was a really good school, but stuck in this place that I think, again, as much as I love it and have so much respect for it, looking back, yeah, it was quite difficult. You have to have your wits about you. You can't just kind of...
Did you make friends easily at school?
I did. I always had a really good group of friends. I mean, it was... I don't know. I know I'm doing a podcast, but it kind of feels a bit weird to talk about myself. Do you ever get anyone like that?
I think everybody feels a bit like that when they come on. Well,
I
that's
feel
all right.
like maybe I'm self-indulging a bit, but...
No, you're absolutely not self-indulging because this
It's
is
the
a
point,
podcast
isn't it?
about human life and human stories, and this is about you. So it's not, that's why the only reason it could be self-indulgent is if someone's coming on and talking about jobs and all, which is why I don't.
I'm so busy.
That's the only thing that I don't talk about on this podcast because I don't want people to feel self-indulgent.
I don't have one to talk about anyway right now, so that's perfect.
See, you already saying that is already self-indulgent, so don't ever say that. We'll cut that out, don't we?
let's just take that out. I genuinely loved school. I mean, I did have a big problem with bullying, but I always had friends. It wasn't like there was just a group of very mean girls, but actually looking back, they were probably really struggling in their own lives. I think bullies are usually dealing with a lot of mental health issues or problems of their own that they just want to sort of...
How did you deal with the bullies? Did you find it hard or did you...
I was rubbish. I was really rubbish. I really struggled to kind of... I did get in a few fights and I always fought back because my mum always told me that if someone hits you, you hit them back twice as hard.
I know. I've been trying to teach that.
It's true,
to
though.
my
That's
son.
what you should do.
And then my wife's been going, "Don't say that to him because he will do it." And I'm going, "Oh,
But it's only if they hit you first.
Yeah.
You hit them back. So I did do that, but I found it. I was quite sensitive, and I found it really kind of. I really struggled with that in my head because I just thought I hadn't done anything wrong. So, and they made up lies. There was always like a lie that I'd said this or I'd done that. And, for a young 15-year-old, I think they make you question yourself, and I think that's such a shame. I don't think anyone should ever have to deal with that.
But sadly, it happens all the time.
I know it does to everyone,
doesn't it?
to so many people, and to people that you would never suspect. Not that there's a typical bully victim, but I think that, you know, I think maybe I'll come across as quite, I know who I am, I'm not quite easygoing, and yeah.
Have you always been like that? You always felt comfortable in your own skin? And been easygoing and...
Maybe easygoing is the wrong word. I think I'm quite warm, maybe. I think that's maybe a good word to use. And I like people. And so I've not always been comfortable in my own skin. Yeah.
But that's all right to be. That's good.
I think I'm a nice person.
It's healthy.
I think
you
so,
know?
yeah. I mean, I struggle, but I've not, sat there kind of wishing I was someone else, or wishing that looked massively different, or wish I was doing something else.
Wishing you could be somewhere else.
Yeah, I've never thought like that. And I think that was my mum and dad and my sister have always been sort of, you get on with it, and you kind of...
So good, stable family, supportive
Very good,
parents,
yeah.
close
Really
relationship
loving.
with your sister.
Yeah, although she's completely different to me. She looks completely different. Her personality is completely different. She's much stronger. She's very loyal. Very
Do you think you lack
opinionated.
strength? Or is it just that she's stronger?
She's stronger emotionally, I think. She handles situations in a calmer, probably, way than I do. Like I said, I can be quite sensitive. I sound like I'm massively contradicting myself here, but I think maybe people are,
These are all facets that make up
a whole.
Yeah,
Make up a whole person.
exactly.
But she's an incredibly strong young woman. She's 30, actually, so you can put that on fucking Wikipedia. 21st of January, Jessica Britland, 30 years old. She's going to hate this. She'd go bright red at this. This is Jessie's worst nightmare, being interviewed or being in the spotlight or being I mean, we are two completely different types of people, but we have a very similar sense of humour.
Which you bond over.
Completely.
Right.
So Monty Python, Blackadder, Famous Five, when they do... was it Channel 4 that did Famous Five?
Do you mean the comic strip?
Yeah, all that kind of thing that we were brought up on. That's our sense of humour. Quite quick wit, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's of a particular era as well, that type of comedy.
We loved it.
Yeah.
So we have the same very, very similar sort of way of viewing things in that way. But she's... she works in the NHS. I mean, she's strong as shit. Like,
No, she'd have to be.
she sees
Bloody hell.
everything. I mean, she's sweating on the ward right now, and here I am with beer and loving life in Soho.
So, were you doing drama at school? Was that on the curriculum?
Yes. Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah.
And was it something that was there a moment when it all switched on, or was it something you were always... you gravitated to?
I wanted to be a singer, so I was obsessed with singing. I had a band called
Did you?
The Cool Cats.
The Cool Cats?
Shout out to the Cool Cats. 1995 to 2000.
What kind of stuff were you doing?
We made our own music. I mean, we were in primary school, and then we were in high school, secondary school. And
So it carried on for a bit of time.
oh, we had a single. Not that it was ever released. We did...
Did you record a single?
Yes, we record. I'll send it to you.
We need to put a link on
It's
for this episode.
Hilarious.
Brilliant.
Cool Cats are back in town.
Get that sent over.
Valentine. You Make Me Smile. We had all the hits.
Wow.
We wrote them. We penned them. 4 girls together. We penned them and argued the whole time. But so I thought I was going to be a famous singer because I did think I was...
The shit.
Yeah, I really thought I could do it. And then... I think I was nominated for like a drama, when they do like awards at school.
Yeah.
And my drama teacher went, "Oh, you can actually act." And I went, "Oh, I'll do that instead."
But did you? It was
didn't-
that kind of...
That was it.
That was it?
Catherine Bland. Shout out to Catherine Bland.
Who was the teacher?
Yeah, year 9. So I was 14. So yeah, I thought, oh, I'll do that then. I can cry on cue, so I thought that makes me a brilliant actor. 15 or 14. And everyone was like, wow, she's so amazing. And I was like, not really, just cry.
Just blagging?
Yeah, I'm still doing that now.
So many people are.
God, she's so good. She can cry. Yeah, not feeling it though, am I? Just crying. So
Just waterworks.
just
tears.
exactly. I've got a lot of trauma, so just gonna cry.
You don't have a lot of trauma, Hannah.
I have some trauma.
Tell me about your trauma.
Somewhere.
See that segue? Boom. Tell me about the trauma. You like that?
Is this where the tears start?
That's where the tears start.
I can give you a bit of trauma. But
Oh.
actually, I think it's important people know because it might affect other people as well.
Then go.
So I have 2 debilitating and sometimes life-threatening conditions, health conditions. So I have ulcerative colitis, which is a bowel condition, and I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which
Explain.
is a connective tissue disorder.
Right.
So, you weren't expecting that, were you?
No.
No, you weren't. So,
I never expect anything.
do people come out? They do come out with all sorts, don't they?
Yeah, that's why it's open and free. I don't expect anything.
Have you ever been really surprised?
I'm constantly surprised.
Like this?
Pretty much like that face. Yeah, internally my heart is constantly surprised.
Is it breaking?
It sometimes breaks, yeah.
That's where you start fake crying.
I can't fake cry.
See? It's a skill.
It is a skill,
It's
I'll
actually
give you
really
it.
not. It's just something I was born with. I've just got big tear ducts, I think. I just want to open out. Yeah, you want to know, don't you? Right.
Let's get back to the trauma, please.
Let's get back to the hashtag trauma. So, I was born with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Right, so you know you've had this all your life.
Well, I only found out I had it 2 years ago.
And how did you find out?
Well, I nearly died. So, I got sepsis, an organ failure, and glandular fever all in one. And it was misdiagnosed. And then I ended up in intensive care. And then they thought that I had... they tested me for everything. They thought I had absolutely everything. So I was getting tests that I can't even pronounce what they were. It was that
Wow.
bad. So, because they just didn't know what was wrong with me.
And how long were you in hospital for?
All in all, I was in for a month, and then I came out. And then it's amazing how well the body can heal, and if you're mentally... Because I think the only reason why I got out of hospital is because I'd been offered a play, and it was my first play out of drama school, and it'd taken me like 4 years to get a play. I was like, I'm doing this play. I'm doing it.
So you're
And then-
mentally focused to get better.
I was like, I cannot stay here. I have to go and do this play, and I did. But it was real. It was touch and go for quite a while because they just didn't know what to treat me with. So I had steroids. I all sorts and something. Water getting sucked out like Bane. That Bane mask that Tom Hardy wears. I had to wear one of them. I think it was like for 2 hours, and then they take it off and it sucks out the water from your lungs because for some reason my lungs were filled with water. I don't know.
So what are the preventions now? What do you have
Can't.
you can't?
Well, with EDS, there's different forms of it, and it is something that you're born with. So, for example, my mum didn't know that she had it, but she's always struggled to heal if she gets a scar. She has problems with the joints. I was a C-section, and that nearly killed her. And they
Right.
were very confused by that. So you can do certain exercises. You can not do certain things, not do certain sports.
Are there trigger points to look out for? Right, if you feel...
Well, it makes you very, very lethargic. It makes you very, very tired. But then that's paired with a bowel condition as well, so I'm constantly tired.
But you always seem like someone's
Up
very
and
up
happy,
and
yeah.
full of life, full of energy.
Yeah, but then I also sleep a lot. So I think that I have sort of a window where I'm kind of happy and joyful and sort of on it, and then I just crash. Like literally will crash.
Yeah.
And then I can't speak to anyone. Sometimes I can't speak, like it gets like ulcers in my mouth and woe is me, but it can be very, very bad. Because it stopped me doing my 3rd year in Guildhall. So I was on crutches, and I did my first show on crutches because my knee dislocated and then set at a 90-degree angle. So I did like ridiculous. You got to laugh or you'll cry.
Exactly.
But so I did that, and then I got off crutches, and then I did Misfits playing an athlete, and that's why they had to get a runner for me because I wasn't allowed to run. And that's why I was so thin.
I remember that.
No, you don't.
The stress is on the eye. I remember that. Just want to say that.
I can't. What scene were we in?
I was
We weren't in any fucking
on the
scene
running
together.
track. I was on the running
But
track.
we didn't have a scene together. It's not like we spoke to one another.
I think you need to go back. I did speak to you because I'm very polite and friendly on a film set, and I said hi. I'm correct. Well, look, it's fine.
Was
Look,
I just like? To be fair, I'd been very unwell, and I was trying to just like.
You seemed alright. I don't remember. I don't have. I can't remember particularly. If I'm
Who was
honest.
there? Was Cane Day there? Was it just the group? Were we just running?
No, there wasn't all of us there on that day, from what I remember.
Were you there with the car
Probably.
when I got out of the car?
No, we were definitely on a running track because I had to do some running.
Why were you running? What were you running for?
Chatting up one of the other girls. And it was like a comedy moment. Do you not remember?
No. No.
Oh, this conversation is going nowhere. Hannah, let's go. Let's just. I want to just go back to school for a bit.
Interject for 1 second. When you start with that, Hannah, can I tuck you in a little tiny bit more? Because it's super, it's loudest we've ever had.
Right, we just got to get in because of
It's
this.
sounding a bit roomy, so.
Okay.
Hannah, I just want to go back to school
No.
in Preston, and I want to. You, to me, am I right in saying you were quite academic?
Yeah, how do you know
I
that?
can just tell.
Oh, shut up.
No, I haven't been serious.
I loved it. I was obsessed. I still am obsessed with it.
Really?
I'm obsessed. That's why I love acting, but kind of always have a bit of a chip on my shoulder about it as well.
Why do you have a chip on your shoulder?
Because I sometimes feel that I'm not using my brain in the way that I want to. It's not like I'm using a very brilliant and exciting and creative part of my brain, but I'm not using another brilliant, exciting other part of my brain. And lots of people might think that's been unfair to acting, but that's just how I feel. I definitely feel like I'm losing out
completely your prerogative.
sometimes. Yeah, I do feel that I'm...
So you completely aced all your exams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did have to work really hard. I'm talking like revising for like 8 hours a day.
But you obviously get something from it, and it connects.
I loved it.
With
I love winning. I love, but winning for myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love like going, right, I'm going to get an A star. And it's not because I want to be better than anyone else. I want to be the best that I can be. So I was like, I'm going to get an A star and I'm going to get it. And if I don't get it, then...
I failed.
I've absolutely failed. Yeah, I failed.
But you got the A
nothing.
stars, didn't you?
Yeah, well, not in everything. Didn't get it in science, so... Although I don't think that was my fault because my science classes were really bad.
Still a bit angry about it?
I got a C.
Ooh.
And I got a B in maths as well, so I'm not happy about that either.
Crikey.
But I was put in a class with people that wouldn't listen, so it's not my fault. I reckon if I'd gone to private school, I would have aced the whole fucking thing.
I blame them. Yeah, that's
I
it.
blame them,
I
those
blame the others.
bastards. No, but I'm so happy I went to school that I did because it's made me work really hard, and also it had amazing people in it.
And so what was the plan? Did you have any sort of focus for after school that you wanted to do? Because the acting, the drama had been introduced a little bit, but obviously you were highly skilled academically, so there was
And an acrobat.
Well, we didn't even touch on
I
this.
could do-
What?
No, I'm joking. I'm not really.
Juggling?
Yeah, juggling life skills. Life.
Ooh.
Whoa. She can do comedy, but can't improvise. Oh, awkward.
So what if there was a plan, or do you just think I'm just gonna
I was just like, I'm just going to ace all the exams.
sixth form?
Went to college, and then I thought, oh, I'll go to, I don't know, Cambridge.
Oh, was that
It
something
was
you
an
wanted to
option,
do?
but I wasn't clever enough. They did talk to me about it, but I didn't have the brains to do that. Also, I wasn't very articulate. It was more, I could do it when I was writing, but I'd get very nervous about sort of, people sitting down. I always felt like people were trying to catch me out a little. Still feel like that now sometimes.
In what way?
I feel a lot of the time that people are trying to make me look a bit stupid sometimes, I think. Maybe that is a big chip on my shoulder. But I have had that quite a lot, where people go sort of do you actually feel like that, or is that actually how you feel? So what do you know about that? And they're trying to
catch you out a little.
yeah, catch you out,
that?
mate. Yeah, I feel like that. I felt like that for a long time.
Where do you think that comes from?
Well, it was made worse in hospital because no one listened to me. But I love the NHS. All my family are in the NHS. But, you know, when there's only one nurse on a ward of, 15.
Yeah, of course.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
So that's why I got so ill. Because I was told that there was this culture that came on the ward that Hannah, the actress, is being overdramatic. And I was dying. And they said that I was being overdramatic.
Did they in hospital?
Yeah. And then obviously I was in intensive care, so they didn't say that anymore. So yeah.
Jesus.
So I feel that quite a lot, that I have to kind of back myself up quite a lot with quite a lot of information, so that someone doesn't catch me out. Because I
So you
feel
have to
that
throw it all out there
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the point? What?
Do you feel that with work?
Not anymore.
On jobs?
I used to feel that in auditions all the time. Like, for example, I'd go for an audition and go, this is going way back to sort of when I was 22, 23. Oh, you're quite a good little actress, aren't you? I had someone say that to me once.
So you would find that very patronising, obviously.
Obviously, well, I'd be like, of course I am. I went to Guildhall. Like, I'm not... And I don't mean that in any other way of, like, what... someone sent me here to see you. You can see my agent. You can see that I've prepared the work. Why are you getting in people that you think can't act? I guess it doesn't matter where you went or how you got to that place, but if you're agreeing to see someone, why would you expect that they can't do it?
Well, I suppose it's the phrasing of that as well. It's
so
very
awful.
demeaning, and that's a power thing, surely.
I hugely think so. And there'd be a lot of kind of, as soon as I would start, they'd go, oh, as if kind of, I don't know what,
I'm surprised.
Yeah. A lot of the time.
That's hard. That's
But not
really,
anymore.
That's really hard for your self-esteem, though. Do you know
Well,
what I
it's just
mean?
like,
The things like that are very difficult to deal with.
Open your mind a little bit. Like,
Well,
we've all seen us in Misfits.
some of us have. Some of us obviously haven't. So when did you decide that you were going to try out for drama school? That it was going to be something that you were
That
going
could
to really
do.
go? Well, not that you could do. That you were willing to train
Well, I didn't
for.
think I could do it.
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't. I thought very naively, I'll go to Cambridge and get in the footlights, and then that'll be me. And then I was told I couldn't go to Cambridge, so I thought, I'll go to Warwick, and I don't know. And then a teacher pulled me inside and said, you should audition for drama school. These are the 3 you should audition for, because it's so expensive.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Well, that's something that's ongoing talks at the moment with certain people, certain schools dropping their fees, and also certain schools.
Guildhall's the worst for it.
Is it?
It's really, and as much...
But there's certain schools that are waiving their fees for low-income families, and also helping with travel, because it's also travel to get there.
That's exactly
as well,
what it is from Preston.
especially when we're coming from the north.
It costs like 80 quid return.
You've got your train fare, you've got the audition fee, and then you might have to stay overnight. You've got a hotel. Everything mounts up, and that makes choices
Limited.
narrower and narrower for people.
And it's intimidating as
Yeah.
well, going down to London on your own at 18 or 17. That's intimidating as well. So you kind of...
So were you coming down by yourself, or were you?
Yeah, I went.
But your parents were obviously very supportive.
Oh,
with what
my
you
dad
wanted to
filled
do.
out the forms for
Did
me.
he?
Shout out to my dad. Yeah, he filled out all the... Yeah, I did rely a lot on my parents to kind of... I think I was probably quite lazy, because I was so obsessed with education that everything else was just a bit sort of... I was like, I don't have time to do that, Dad. Can you do it? Oh, yes, okay. Like, fill the whole thing out. And yeah, they were amazing. They paid for the whole thing. They sent me packing. Off I went on the train. And I was just told to do it. So I just went, oh, okay.
And did you have that self-belief within yourself at that time, or were you willing for it to sort of be opened up?
No, I thought I was going to get in.
Did you?
Yeah,
So-
God, that's really embarrassing.
No. Look, if you can't,
Well, that is really embarrassing.
But if you can't be positive, then you're going into a business
I thought
of
I was-
so much uncertainty
Yeah.
and so much rejection. I can't speak.
Rejection.
Rejection. Then you've certainly got to be positive. it's just that fine line, isn't it? That
I wasn't arrogant at all.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. We've
'Cause I
got
didn't
a
have
fine line
that.
of positivity and arrogance. And
I just thought, oh well, because I didn't know how big it was. I had no idea how hard it was. I just kept on, oh, you're really good at acting because you can cry on cue. So I thought, oh my God, I'm really good at acting. I can cry on cue. So I'll, go to RADA. I was laughed out of the room. I brought props with me. So you can see a theme here. I've actually got some props on the table today. And they laughed at me.
they laughed at you.
Yeah, they absolutely killed themselves laughing. And said, do you want to bring the sky and the soil with you as well? And I was like, I don't know, fucking clue.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was bad.
How did that make you feel? That's such a stupid question.
It was just... I was a bit like, oh, I just won't do that again. I felt a bit stupid, but I wasn't upset. I just thought, oh, that's just... I just won't bring props again. That was a bad move. That was a stupid move.
So you were just learning, really.
Yeah,
You didn't know.
I had no idea. I thought, did something from DNA, and there's loads of props in that, and it's young people, and they've got cans of Coke and Mars bars. So I packed it all, and I put on my really nice dress, and I just didn't have a clue what I was doing.
But it didn't break you.
Oh God, no.
No.
Oh bloody hell, no! You've got no. Because if it's going to break you at that point, then don't even bother. Because it's going to be an absolute fucking nightmare once you get in there. So, oh no.
You know that now.
Well, I know that now, but...
So you auditioned for Guildhall.
And then I auditioned for... That was my last one, and my mum kind of threatened me. She went, we've spent so much money on this. You haven't had a recall. You can do this. Go and do it. She gave me a slap, like, not a physical slap, but she gave me sort of like a
kick up the arse.
Kick up the arse. And I went, oh, okay. Well, I did. And I just went... And I absolutely loved it. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't, because I had nothing to compare it to. It wasn't as if I'd been like 5 years old and wanting to be an actress forever.
Yeah.
I just sort of decided that
So
it would be a good idea.
There was kind of a beautiful naivety
I was
to it all.
so naive. I was stupidly naive because then I had to do the course and oh my God, it nearly killed me. Like literally nearly killed me. So
Yeah.
I wish I'd taken it. I wish I'd gone at my age now. 28, not 30.
Wikipedia.
Thank you, bastards.
Did you worry financially? I mean, did you get a grant?
No, I worked. So, embarrassingly, I worked as a model. It's a model.
It was the model?
Yeah, I was a model.
And so you had money to pay for your fees?
From that point, I would work all summer, and then I'd also work in the Easter breaks and everything like that, and I was doing quite well, so I just paid for... Well, obviously, I got a grant to... Was it? Not a grant. I got, like, a student loan.
For living expenses or for the fees?
Both.
For both?
Oh, yeah, both.
But you were grafting in the modelling to subsidise...
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
I don't know how else you would...
Well, no. And obviously,
how else you would do it.
Well,
My mum and dad couldn't afford that, so it was...
No. The majority of, certainly... Parents who come on this podcast couldn't afford.
Great.
Stuff like that.
Who can?
No.
I mean, that's
well,
just. Well, some people can. But...
some people can.
And then props to them. Good for them. Like it's not. Again, like I said at the beginning of this,
I'm not bashing anybody.
Everybody. You totally are. You're so bad. I'm really joking.
I think everybody deserves the right to if they want to train at something, they deserve the right, and the barriers should not be up.
Absolutely, 100%.
And sadly, they are. But
I don't know if I'd go now with the fees. 9,000. I don't know. I don't think I'd go. I don't think I'd be able to justify that to myself when I could have gone and done something with a different part of my brain.
Well, exactly. I was going to say you being, highly skilled academically and certainly passionate about it as well.
Yeah, I'm passionate about it. Yeah. Not in maths and science though. So
we don't talk about those.
To talk about the B and C I got.
So,
awkward.
How did you find the training? Because you didn't have any expectations.
God. It was so awful. It was so hard. It was just... It made me so ill. That's when my bowel condition got really bad. I'd be throwing up. I'd be joints, an absolute nightmare. And I didn't know I had these conditions at the time.
So you just thought it was you being run down and ill? And
completely. And then I'd be so tired. There'd be points where we'd be in a class and I'd be...
nodding off.
Yeah, and it's not like I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do drugs, I didn't go out. I was obsessed, obviously, with the whole thing, thinking that, you're 60-hour weeks and you're barely 18, and it was too much. I genuinely think they asked too much of you. I think that nobody at 18 years old should be doing 60-hour weeks in education. You can't learn anything else.
I think sometimes that's what they say as well. Just come back in a year or so.
Yeah.
And, you know, you hear it so often. They go, look, we think you're great. Go and get some life experience. I get messages and emails all the time going, I didn't get into drama school again, and they've said I need more life experience. Great, what do you think I should do? And I go,
go and get it.
I don't know if I'm the oracle of all knowledge, but, you know, try A, B, and C and see if that helps.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not older man's up saying I know hardly anything. But, but it's, yeah, it is funny because I went at 17 and 18, and I think...
Where did you go?
I went to Mountain View.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Did you do dancing?
It's not about me, Hannah. I'll tell you.
Oh, no!
I see what you tried to do.
Oh, no, because I can't bear it. Can we not flip it, please?
No.
I'm desperate to know. I'm going to get your autograph and everything.
I'll tell you later.
I'm not really. That's weird.
It's really, really dull. But I think... I've lost my thread. No, I haven't.
You went to Mount View?
What I was meaning to say was, at such a young age of 17 and 18, all you want to do is go out there and get it done and do it and learn and learn and learn and be the sponge at that age. And because of the arrogance of youth, you know, even if someone goes, you know what, I don't think you're quite ready, I am ready.
That's what I said.
Totally ready.
Yeah.
Give me it now.
That's what I said.
But in retrospect... maybe...
I don't even think I'm ready now, actually, to go back and do that. I honestly don't think that anyone training to be an actor needs 60-hour weeks. What, like, seriously, like, you might need that if you're training to be a doctor. And not to say that acting, I think it's one of the most amazing jobs in the world, and it's hugely, hugely important for democracy. I'm proud to be an actress, but come on, 60-hour weeks, I mean, that is just... tragic. You need to have time to live, to see people, to soak up London. I didn't know anything about London for the first 3 years. I didn't know anything, and I've been living there for 3 years, and I didn't even know where. I didn't even go to King's Cross.
But some would say it's such a fucking hard profession.
Yeah, but
then you should start working hard then.
Yeah,
but I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to...
No, you don't. I mean, I think different opinions are really like valid on it, because I think everyone obviously has.
I'm actually not disagreeing with you. I'm
But
just
do you
saying.
think?
No, I think it's a big ask, and it's a lot to ask for people so young, and maybe hit 21, and then maybe go.
Do you need 60-hour weeks for 3 years to learn how to act?
I don't know.
I don't think you do, because there's people that don't go to drama school that are amazing.
But then again, exactly, there's another flip side of the coin of going, well, do you need to go to drama school? Because I spoke to so many people who didn't, but have trained on jobs.
Yeah,
and they've
exactly.
been really, really learning
and
watching and listening.
Yeah. But I think they're the people that probably have that real natural gift. I didn't have... I did need the training. Maybe not 60-hour weeks, maybe 40-hour weeks. I mean, I just thought if I could cry. I mean, I keep going back to this, but that's what I thought it was. I thought good acting was crying.
You see, that's not on your Wikipedia.
They should be.
Should put that on.
Hannah Britland thinks great acting is being able to cry on demand.
Not born on 31st of December, but click your fingers, Waterworks.
I'm going to make a showreel just of me having a little sob.
But even though you were ill and it was hard,
it was impossible sometimes. It was so hard.
Did you ever feel like I can't? I'm done.
Nah.
No.
No.
Even as hard as it was, you still had the determination to get through.
No, I was upset because I'm obsessed with learning, so I was obsessed with it. I mean, I did drive myself absolutely, to the brink of. I mean, I was exhausted. To the point where I, put myself in hospital. I couldn't do the third year. I couldn't finish it.
Did it affect you mentally as well?
Not at the time, but later, hugely. I have a real issue with I felt almost like I've lost those 3 years a little bit, and that things that happened.
It's okay. You can talk. We can bleep things out. But then again, equally, you don't have to talk about things.
I just think I was too. No, that's not. I'll get. Well,
That's
it's
okay.
like hashtag Me Too Guildhall, and I'd have to go into all that, and I don't think it's.
That's absolutely fine. We don't.
I'll
have
tell you
to-
afterwards,
We
but
don't have
yeah.
to say things.
Yeah, I
on
think
here.
I was just very impressionable, very, very naive, and very desperate to be the best that I could be. And I think that makes you incredibly vulnerable. And I was exceptionally vulnerable. I would do anything. I'm talking about, we did a scene where we did an Anthony Nielsen play where it's called Stitching. And it's about, do you know
I don't
it?
know him, but I don't know the play, but I know
Of the
Anthony-
writer, yeah. And it's a very, I mean, I think even he would say this, I don't know him, but it is a pornographic play in its violence and in actually its subject. It's about two grieving parents, and they basically decide that they're going to reenact these sort of very graphic sex scenes to kind of essentially deal with their grief, sort of. And at 18, you know, pretending that a carrot is a dildo and getting that shoved down your throat, I just don't think that's acceptable. I think I didn't need that. But you think that at the time you're going, oh my God, this is learning and this is, but I think you didn't have the power to say no because
you're vulnerable, and
you're vulnerable.
and you're obviously, you know,
you
you're
think that this is learning.
you're being taken advantage of.
I really think, I mean, everyone did it. It wasn't as if it was just me that was, I mean, sometimes I was like pinpointing out to do things.
I know, but there's a line.
But there's a line, and I don't think even now as an adult, I would have to really get to know that actor. I would have to have a couple of weeks of I'm not going
And you
to
have
put
to-
myself in that vulnerable position ever again.
There has to be trust,
Yeah.
and that it
Yeah.
has to be a place.
Yeah. Trust
that
with the
is-
director.
that is safe. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it stems down from that.
No, I don't think, you know, saying it's all for the training and it's all for the greater good and all this kind of shit. I actually, looking back as an adult now, I think that liberties were definitely taken. And maybe that does make you a better actor in the long run, and maybe it pushes you to your limits, which obviously it did. But acting's not the be-all, end-all. I don't think anyone should be compromising their mental health to be an
No.
actor.
No.
It's not, and people do, and I think that's, well, we all do, but there's so much more to life than that.
We deal with things all the time, don't
Yeah.
we? Because you're constantly going up to say, right, I can do this. Don't worry about those people. I can do this. No,
I'll do it,
no.
I'll do
No,
it.
you can't. Oh, right, I can't do it now. So you have to pick yourself back
Yeah,
up again.
completely.
So, you know, I was only saying this morning to somebody, you know, we run and we go to the gym, we keep physically
Mm.
fit, but we really have to keep
Look after our mental health.
really have to look
Yeah,
out
yeah,
for
yeah.
it and forget about the stigma. And, you know, doing this podcast says it helps me just as much as
Yeah.
it stimulates and
That's what you're
helps
saying for
other
about
people.
therapy, sort of.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of is almost,
Well,
in terms
it
of...
was only because one guest very early on said, I don't know if it was on mic or not, but she went, oh, I think it was on mic actually, and she went, oh, that was like a bloody
Oh,
therapy
it was
session.
Lauren.
It was Lauren,
Yeah, I listened to it the other day.
And it was incredible. And
Yeah.
I just thought, God, it is. And then so many people have said it is. So it's,
Therapeutic.
yeah, I think it is therapeutic because people shouldn't be afraid to talk.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to reiterate, because I'm not just saying this, I do think that I had the best training in the world, or some of the best training in the world, and I know that from how I've gone through the industry and how I've coped and how I have been able to deal with certain situations. And I do think Guildhall, I mean, I would change certain things, but in terms of actually what I learned as an actor, it was phenomenal.
But in the grand scheme of things, there's no regrets. Or-
No, there are regrets.
There are regrets.
Yeah, there are regrets. But again, that's all to do with certain people and certain...
Do you still carry those regrets around, or have you been able to sort of let them go over the years? Because it's difficult sometimes.
I mean, there's a couple of conversations that I would quite like to have, but I think I think it's not something I think about every single day. I mean, other things that, you know, I've nearly died. So, like, that's probably more in my head than it is.
Let's put things into perspective.
More, you know, about the time that a teacher said something to me at Guildhall that kind of upset me.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to, there's level, you've got to put things in perspective.
Yeah.
But I think with all this sort of Me Too thing and, well, not thing, it's incredibly important movement and especially young women now feeling that they can have a voice and say, sort of their experiences. I think that sorry, I'm not crying. What's my? Because I can cry on demand. So oh wait, yeah. So I do have regrets. I wish that I'd had more of a voice. I wish I'd actually had more balls. I wish that I'd not been such of a fucking pushover, to be honest. But I was young.
Do you feel you've got stronger? Since,
oh my God!
Over the years since you. So how many years is it since you graduated now?
It'll be 7 in May.
Did you feel you're slowly sort of putting your suit of armour together and piece by piece?
I feel like I'm impenetrable now.
Do you?
Like, I literally feel like there's nothing that... I mean, I've had other very bad experiences on set where I've been forced to do something that I didn't want to do.
So you feel you've been compromised early on?
Oh my God.
In professional work?
I've been forced to be naked. I've been asked to do sexual stuff that I don't want to do on set, not in another way. You know, do a more explicit scene than I was comfortable with. Yeah, all sorts. But that was very early on.
But and because it was so early on, you didn't feel you had the voice to say,
I just
stop.
didn't have a choice.
Right.
Didn't have my phone on me. I didn't have access to being able to contact my agent. I didn't have any tools to be able to back myself up. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was 21. I had no idea what I was doing.
So sorry, that's
Yeah.
horrible to hear. I know,
Yeah,
but I know
awful.
it should not fucking happen.
But then, because that happened, when I did Skins, which is an explicit sexual show in many ways, I got Jack on board with me. We were supposed to be doing this sex scene in the car. And I said to Jack O'Connor, we were playing lovers in it, and I went, they're going to ask me if I'll take my clothes off. I know they are because they'll try. You know, whoever will try, and they did. And I said no. I said, have you ever had sex in a car in Manchester in the middle of the day? And the person said no. And I went, well,
you don't strip off.
You don't strip off. There's no fucking time. So, and then Jack was like, I'll support you 100% all the way. And the scene was so cool. It was so much better. And I was so strong because I'd gone through that.
How brilliant that you had a supportive co-star.
But I knew to do that. I knew.
Get him on side.
Get him on side. But he would always be on my side.
Was that the director that asked you to do that?
I'm not going to say.
Well, whoever it was, it was someone in a position of power.
Oh, completely.
And that's, yeah.
Completely. What will you do?
So
what are you
levels.
comfortable doing? And that's okay to ask that, but that should be asked through an agent, and that's
it gets
a nudity
asked through
clause.
an agent, and it gets signed
Not
in the contract.
Not 10:30 in a caravan in the middle of fucking Manchester.
Because people think they can try and get one over on somebody.
100%. And I was like, mate, it's not happening.
I'm really thrilled that you said no.
Yeah, I was like, no,
Brilliant.
because I think if you're comfortable with it, rock on. Get whatever you are. If you're comfortable with it, great. But I'm not anymore.
But still, it should go through professional channels, and it should not. No actor or actress should be compromised on set because of somebody's whim.
Exactly.
Or, well, yeah.
Because they want to see some, boobs.
Because they think it's going to make something, or
the scene is so much better with clothes on as well.
I bet.
It's so much better.
That's a show that prides itself on its realism.
Exactly. It's so real. And we had the best time. We had a bloody great time. It was hilarious. So, and it was just so much more comfortable. But he was like, mate, straight away, 100% got you back. I was like, that's how you do it. Because he was the lead. So go to that's what I was just at anyone that's worried about it. You got to back yourself up. You got to get your army behind you, because sometimes it's very difficult to do it yourself.
Yeah, I know it's very difficult. You walk off set and you ring your agent.
Oh, well, sometimes you can't because they won't give you your phone.
You can't. Well, then you call me.
Then you sue.
Someone calls me and I'll come down and sort that shit out. So when you left drama school, because you'd been, of course, in a really hard working place for 3 years, but equally. Sometimes not, but majority safe place, and then you're let out into the big
real
wild world.
Straight onto Misfits.
Was it straight? Was that your first
job?
audition? It's first audition.
And I went,
first
boom!
job. Brilliant.
I was thrilled. I was so excited because I loved the show. I was really again. I was chilled. I've got more anxious and more worried as I've gone through my career. But at the beginning, I was so like,
Because
easy.
again, it's a bit like when you started out at drama school, you didn't really have any
I
expectations.
didn't got a fucking clue.
Yeah.
I was like, my first audition got the job. That's what it's going to be like.
Great.
Got
There
into
you go.
drama school first time. That's what it's going to be like. And then I realised very quickly that is not what it's going to be like.
And how do you deal with those times? Because the highs are great.
Yeah.
And the lows.
Horrendous.
So how do you ride them out? Do you have a feeling that you've got to be creative in other ways? Because obviously we don't sit around waiting for that phone to ring or an email to drop. So what do you do?
I usually go and cry to my agent for a while. I don't really cry, but I do sit there and complain. And then she tells me to get a grip because she's good like that. And then the thing that saved me in the last sort of few years is, which is so wanky, but it is writing. I'm writing.
Sparkly
Oh my
lights.
God, you know what it's like?
What?
The thing, Stranger Things.
That's just Griff. He's got a little button there. He likes to do it in an episode.
That's what it's like. Thrilled.
It's when you say things, certain triggers.
Yeah, they're like, stop. Don't say it. Don't say that.
Liable.
Court case right here. So.
But once you've spoken to them and they've been really supportive, and still at the end of the day, you're the one.
Yeah, you're the one that has to deal with it. Well, I write now.
You
so
write
I write,
now?
write. So
when did that come into play?
that came about I had an idea about 2 years ago. Literally had an idea in bed, and I thought, that's an interesting idea. So I wrote it. It took me about a year to write because I'd never written a script before, and I'm not one of those people that just thinks that I can.
You can do it.
Well, I usually think that I can do it, but
I was going to say.
but I wanted to do it the best that it could be. So it took me a long time to do it because it had to be.
That's the academic side of you as well.
Had to be perfect.
Yeah.
Like, go hard or go home. Like, there's no point in doing something half-assed. So that took me a year. And then I contacted all my sort of contacts from the comedy world, even though it wasn't a comedy. And they went, this is blah, 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 but we only do comedy, so write as a comedy. So that's what I've been doing in the last 2 months. Been writing a comedy, which is fucking hard.
Yeah, I
it's
bet.
so hard. I thought I was hilarious, and I'm not. It's so difficult. Oh my God. Do you write?
No.
It's
not
fucking
really.
hard. Like, comedy is just, you're just asking to fail. It's literally, you're putting your firstborn out there for Herod to take. It's just, it is what I'm here for. Fucking hell.
No,
Where did that come from?
It's hard work. But do you feel that
love
that's
it.
fulfilling something when
Massively.
you're not? Oh, it is.
I love it. I really, and I'm passionate about it, obviously.
Do you think
and
it
I
ever
do.
outweighs the acting?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's so interesting because I've spoken to another actor who's also a writer, and I know that she said, yeah, it's kind of taken over.
I prefer it.
You prefer it. Do you prefer it because you have control?
Oh, massively, yeah, because I'm a huge control freak, so.
You
But in terms of myself, not other people.
No, I know, but you know that's the one thing that we lack, that
Yeah.
we strive for as you know, being actors. And you're a control freak.
Yeah, but for myself, not other people. Like, it's like controlling myself. Like, kind of have to be the best for myself all the time. There's no like, yeah, go hard.
Do you ever
or go
think
home.
there'll come a time when you decide to stop it all? Because you've still got that other bit of your brain, remember? So you do.
But I want to create I'm so inspired by these, I say women, but men as well, but, Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Michaela Cole and people like this that are, is it Cara? How would you say her last name? I think she's amazing. Chrome?
Carla Crome?
Yeah, she was in Misfits.
She was, yeah.
And these young women that are writing, creating their own material, for me, I think well, I could do that. I know it's really, really hard because I'm doing it, but I think, well...
But why not? Why can't you think that you could do it?
Well, because people tell you shouldn't think like that.
Exactly.
So, but
why shouldn't you think like that?
I think that people should do it.
If the script's there...
People are going to hate me on this.
And you're not...
Oh,
don't judge
God.
yourself, stop it. If the characters aren't there, then create your own work. We all I'm creating my own
Yeah,
work
yeah.
every week. We can do this.
Yeah.
And put it out there.
Exactly, yeah.
Why not?
And I want to cast other people, and I want to tell a certain story, and I want to... I can see exactly how it could be, and I know who I'd want to work with, and I know the producers that could help me, and I could help them, and we could... I know it's going to take absolute years. It may never happen, but if you don't try it, then it's never going to happen.
And in a world of so much rejection, it's
Amen.
nice to have some positivity.
Unless you're rejected again, then it's fucking shit.
On that bombshell, Hannah Britland, thank you very much.
I've loved it. Thanks so much.
And another episode is done. What a ball of energy Hannah Britland was. Thank you, Hannah, if you're listening, for coming on and giving your time up for free and being so honest. It was great. What a great episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, look, the British Podcast Awards is coming up. You can still vote for the Listener's Choice. Now, it was announced this week of the top 20 in the Listener's Choice. We didn't make it. Of course not. We don't have the listenership, but we do have you, the beautiful, loyal listener, and you can still vote. Go to BritishPodcastAwards.com/vote, search the Two Shot Podcast, click submit, and you're done. We really appreciate it. And we will let you know on May 19th if, cross fingers, we may have won for our nomination for Best Culture Podcast. It's heavy competition and there's great podcasts there. So we're a new podcast. We're not even a year yet. Who knows? But we're really proud of the nomination and thrilled to be there. It's going to be a great night. It's a big day for us because on May 19th, we're going to be up with the Charlatans at North by Northwich. We've got 2 live shows with Mr. Dave Haslam and Mr. Paddy Considine. And then we rush back for the Podcast Awards. Don't worry, there's going to be lots of footage. We're going to take loads of photos and we'll post them all. Cross your fingers, cross your toes. Let's see what happens. Until next week, I've been Craig Parkinson. He's been producer Griff. And this has been the Two Shot Podcast. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Sleep well. The Two Shot Podcast is presented by me, Craig Parkinson, recorded and produced by Thomas Griffin for Splicing Block. Our brilliant music is courtesy of Then Thickens.